Hello and welcome to our Home Designer 2015 Quick Start demo. My name is Stephanie and I'll be presenting today. I also have Kayla here with me on chat to answer any questions you may have throughout this demonstration. Before we begin, I would like to review our GoToMeeting system. To set up your audio, please select the mic and speakers option located under the audio mode dialog. Everyone will be muted throughout this demonstration, so you do not need to worry about setting up a microphone. If you are having trouble hearing me, click the sound check link for additional audio controls. And if you'd like to switch to your telephone, please click this radio button. A number, access code, and PIN will appear and you can dial in from your telephone. If you're not seeing this screen, it simply means it's been minimized. Click the button in the upper left corner to maximize the screen. Underneath this area, you will find a questions area, so you can type in your statement, click send, and Kayla will respond. Today we'll be designing in our Home Designer Professional product. We have several other product options available, so if you have questions on any of these programs or would like to learn more, check out our website or contact our sales department. For our agenda today, we'll be going over a quick program overview. I'll draw out walls and dimension. I'll place in some doors and windows, spend time designing in our kitchen. We'll create a foundation and second story, and then I will generate a materials list. I'll also add a roof. We'll review some framing, create some deck and landscaping designs, and then I will generate a layout. And like I said before, if you do have questions, feel free to chat those in and Kayla will give you a response. I'm going to open up our Home Designer program. When you open up Home Designer Pro or any of our other Home Designer products, you'll notice on the left side that you're able to create a new plan, a new layout. You can open a plan or open an existing layout. Your recent files will be stored below, and we have a list of resources located on the right of our screen. If you are new to Home Designer, I recommend checking out this link. It'll take you directly to our website where you can view tutorials, videos, documentation, and much more. I'm going to exit out of here so we can begin designing. We'll click on New Plan. And when I click on my new plan, this brings us to our Create New Plan dialog. The first category available are home style templates. If we were to click through these templates, you'll notice on the right that the styles, cabinetry, colors are all updating. So the look and feel is changing for a plan. So these are defaults within your plan that are editable. So this is something that you can, if you decided to choose one of these designs, that you can bring in and edit. So if you want to learn more about any of these designs, I recommend reading below so you can see more about the defaults and how those are changing. If you'd like to change between US and metric units, I recommend doing that right here. This is where you can access the area. And then, for example, we do have a few fully editable templates available in Home Designer. If you click on Interior Templates, it'll take you to our editable designs here where you can bring them in and begin working right away. So I'm going to click Cancel. I do have a plan that's already open, and I'm going to exit out of here. This is our default toolbar at the top of my screen. Over on the right here are display options, and you'll notice during our presentation we're also going to have tools that populate down here in the lower left corner. This is going to be our edit toolbar. So let's begin today by drawing out our exterior walls, and to access these tools we're going to go to our default toolbar, and I'm going to click on my exterior wall tool. When I click on this icon, you'll notice that I have child icons that appear below. So this is great. It's a quicker process once you learn the program to just access one of these tools over on the left versus always going through the drop down. But a nice feature with the drop down is that you can find the particular tool you're wanting to use, as there's a definition located on the right of that tool. So I'm going to grab my straight exterior wall. I'm going to click within my plan, click to drag it out, and you'll notice that I have temporary dimensions that appear on top of my wall. I can click again to drag it out. I'm going to try to get pretty close to where I want my dimensions, but I am going to go in and I can modify those later. So once I connect all four walls, you can see that we have roof lines that appear, exterior dimensions, and even a foundation level is created. So right now we're on level 1. The 1 indicates that, but if we click down, we can go to our foundation level, and you can see that a foundation has been placed on our home. Let's go back up to floor 1, and I'm going to take a dollhouse view. So we need to go to our camera options. When I click on my camera tools, I have different camera options to choose from. We're going to start by taking a dollhouse view, though I'll use all these different cameras views within our demonstration today. So let's click on dollhouse view, and we can zoom in here, and you can see that the roof is cut off of our structure when we take a dollhouse view. We have siding on the exterior of our home, drywall on the interior. We have a wood flooring finish, and then you'll also see that we have that foundation that has been applied to our plan today. So what I want to do is I'm going to tile both of my views here, and we're going to add in a garage to our plan. So to do this, I'm going to go up to my window tab and click tile vertically. And now when I tile vertically, I have two different views I can look at. I have my plan view and then also my dollhouse view. And if I want to move my plan view to the left, I like designing in my plan view over on the left side of my screen, so I can just click to drag that over. And then we can zoom out of here just a bit so we can see exactly what's going on. So let's add in some of those walls. I'm going to go up to my wall tools, and I'm going to click on my wall, and I'm going to grab my interior wall. And then I need to first actually click in the view. So right now when I grabbed that interior wall, it's bringing it over to my 3D view. So I could bring it and design it in 3D, but if I want to stick in my plan view, I need to click first on the view, then on the tool. And I'm just going to click and drag, click and drag, and click and drag. And as I'm looking at my plan view, I can see I still have my roof planes that are appearing, and this can be a little bit of a distraction. So we're going to go up to our display options, and we're just going to hide our roof planes for now. So we'll go and click to turn off the display, click OK. And now I'm going to get into my wall here, and I want to make sure that my wall is the wall that I'd like to use. So this isn't just an interior wall. What I'm going to do though is I want to tap on my space bar. I'm going to grab that wall, click Control again, and we're going to open up these walls that we've placed. So I'm going to go to my open object in the lower left corner, click on it to bring it to the forefront, and we're going to go to wall types. We're going to change this to a Fire 6 wall, as fires that start within garages can move rather quickly into a home if we don't have that protection. So we want to make sure we have a barrier. To see how this is updated, we can zoom in here, and you can see now there's this nice red line here, and that just kind of demonstrates that we have a fire protection wall. And if we wanted to look further within our plan, we can always rotate it around here. So we can zoom back out, and I'm using a mouse with a scroll wheel. It makes it easy when we're using Home Designer Pro to be able to zoom in and zoom out rather quickly. If I tap my space bar, I'm over here in my 3D view. I'm going to double click to open up this room. Right now my room is unspecified. However, I want to change this to a garage. So I'm going to scroll down to garage and click OK. And as soon as I do that, the defaults for the room change. So now I have concrete on the floor of my garage, and this is looking more like a garage area than it did before. I'd like to exit out of this view, and I wanted to get in and dimension our space now. So to start dimensioning, we're going to click on the wall, and then we're going to use our exterior dimensions to help dimension out this space. So now I'm going to click on the dimension, and I'm going to change this to 68 feet. And over here on the right, you can see that we can move the left end, we can move both ends, or we can move the right end. And we're going to just start with the left end. Click Enter, and we're going to then click on the wall and the dimension. And this is actually set exactly how I want it. I want it at 38 feet, so we'll leave that. But we can go over to our garage area and make the modifications to these dimensions. So I'm first clicking on the wall, then on the dimension, and change this to 8 feet 2 inches. Click Enter. Then I'm going to grab the wall, the dimension to 23 feet and 23 feet. And now our space is dimensioned. So let's add in some interior walls. I'm going to go up to my wall tools, click and drag within my plan. One of the nice features with our software is I can snap to the center of this wall, click and drag it up, and now I have a wall that's directly centered there. And I'm just going to click and drag. And we're going to use our dimensioning tools to finish dimensioning out this space. So if I go up to my dimensioning tools, I have several dimensioning options available, and I'm just going to show you a few here. If I take a manual dimension, I can click and drag within my plan to drag out a manual dimension, and it'll place as I pull it. I can even go and grab an end-to-end dimension, and you'll notice that it will locate just to those exterior walls. It's not pulling any of these interior walls. And then we'll grab some interior dimensions, and we'll use these for designing out our space. Perfect. So now we can get in here and zoom a little bit further over to the side here. I'm going to tap my space bar, click on the wall, and I'm going to change this to 14 feet. And we're going to modify this one to 15. And then we need to change this wall too. And click enter. And once those dimensions are placed, I do want to break my wall here. This is a continuous wall that goes all the way across my plan, and I'm going to be adding stairs in. So we're going to go up to our break wall tool, click on the tool, then click on the corner of the wall you want to add in that break, tap space bar, click on the wall, and now I can just delete it out. So the space has been dimensioned, but I do have all these dimensions that I don't need as we continue on with our process here. So what we're going to do is go up to Edit and then down to Delete Objects, and I'm going to go all rooms on this floor, and I'm going to delete my manual and automatic dimensions, and I'll get a little notification here. It says cannot delete automatic dimensions while auto refresh dimensions is on. Do you wish to turn auto refresh dimensions off and delete? And I'm going to say yes, and then we need to click delete and then done. So now let's get in and add some doors and windows. To do this, we're going to go back up to our camera tools. I'm going to take a full camera view over in this corner, and then I'm going to tile both of my views. So a quick way to do this is by clicking Shift F6 on your keyboard. This will tile both of your views. We can zoom in here, and I'm going to move my plan view over again. And the first thing I want to do is grab my door tools. So if I go up to my door tools, the first option available is a hinge door. So I'm going to grab that hinge door, and I'm going to place it within my plan. So if I was to just place this door here, it's going to open incorrectly. But if I take my mouse, hold down the left side and drag, I can click to open that door the right way. And now I have a door placed within my space. So this is a very decorative door for coming in off the garage. So I'm going to tap my space bar. We're going to make some adjustments. We'll double click to open up the object. And then I'm going to change the style here. Right now we have our default style, but I'm going to change this to a slab door and then click OK. And now that's updated. If you look closely though, the materials are a little different here, and I'd like to keep it pretty consistent. So I'm going to change the color. I'm going to go up to my material eyedropper, grab the white from my trim, and then apply it to my door here. And now that's been updated. So let's grab a few more doors, place them in our plan view here. Whoops, grab my window tool. We'll place a doorway and then another doorway. And I'll exit out of this view. Can zoom in there, and we're going to take another camera view. So since the last camera view we took was a full camera, I can just click again because I want to take another full camera view. We can see where we placed those doors, and now I have my mouse orbit tool selected, so I'm going to rotate around my plan here so we can apply some more doors in 3D. So if I go to my drop down here, I can bring in a sliding door, click on my wall to place it, and then I'd also like to place a doorway. So let's click there. I'm going to tap my space bar, double click to open up the object, And right now the width is set at 30 inches. I'm going to change this to 6 feet because this is going to lead into my dining area and I want a wider space. And then we do have different options if you need to change the casing or lights or anything else, but I would like to focus on my arch. I'm going to bring in an arch into this plan. So right now there's no archway, but I'm going to add a round top and then click OK. And I briefly went over our edit toolbar at the beginning of the presentation, but this is a nice feature because right now we have our doorway selected. I can go down to my center object tool and center this doorway directly within the room. And now my doorway has been centered with just a click of the button. So I want to continue rotating around here. I clicked on my mouse orbit tool. We're going to rotate around and add in 2 more doors. So we'll go up to our door tools. I'm going to apply another hinge door. And since we used a slab door, that's the last door we placed, that's what's getting placed here for my hinge, I can open this up. And this is going to be our office area. So I do want to make a change here. I can double click to open up, or I can even go to the open door to open up this dialog. And we're going to change the style here to a glass door and then click OK. And now that's been modified. And we also want to center that door. So let's just click on our center object tool and center within the room there. I'm going to place one more door for our front door. Tap my space bar, double click to open that up. And now we've placed the doors for our first floor here. So I'm going to exit out of this view and we're going to get into our plan view. We do need to add one more door, and that's a very important door. It's our garage door. So we'll go back to our door tools, click on our garage door, and then click within the plan. This door is a little slender for the space, so I'm going to tap on my space bar, double click to open it up. And we're going to change the width here to 16 feet and click enter, and then we'll center that object again, and now that's centered within the space. So let's take a look in 3D to see what's going on. So we're going to go into our dollhouse view here. We can zoom in and see where all of our doors have been placed. And I want to add in some windows now. So our window tools are located to the right of our door tools. I'm going to click on a window and show you what a window would look like if we just placed it within our plan. So if I click, that's a standard window that would come with the program. So it's our default window. If I click my space bar though, I'm going to select this window and delete it because I want to show you how you can really customize within the software. So I'm going to change my default window. That means that all my windows for this plan will update to that default. So to do this, we're going to go up to the edit toolbar. We'll go down to default settings, go to window, open up this dialog. We can see our standard window here, and we're going to change just a few items here. We'll go to our lights. We'll do 3 across the top, 2 across the bottom, and then I also want to add some shutters. So right now we don't have any shutters within the plan. We'll change this to panel, and now we have shutters. We'll click OK and click done. So let's go up to our window tools again and now apply a window within our plan. And now it's updated to that window that we made that change with. So we can click here. I'll go to my mouse orbit tool, rotate around here just a bit, and we'll grab a few more windows and just click to place them. And one more. And then if I want to center those windows, I can just click to select it, click our center object tool, and then click again to center. So now our windows are placed. So let's move on to our kitchen. I'm going to exit out of this view. We're back in plan view. We're going to take another full camera, click and drag to the area we want to design in, and I'm going to tile both of these views, so Shift F6, and we're going to pull this back over to the left side of our screen. Zoom in, and the first object I want to place in my kitchen is going to be my cabinet. So I'm going to go and place a base cabinet. If I go to my cabinet tools, base cabinet is going to be our first option here. So I'll click to select it, If I place a base cabinet within the plan, I can click anywhere in this plan and my base cabinet will just drop in. However, I want to place a corner cabinet first. So the way I do that is I need to take my base cabinet and pull it between both these two walls that are connected, and now I have a corner cabinet. We can even make adjustments to this cabinet by tapping on our space bar. Double clicking to open up the object. We can change anything that we needed to adjust within this cabinet. The things I wanted to modify here are, let's go to the front tab. I'd like to add in a Lazy Susan, and I want to change the front of this cabinet to a pie cut. So I'm going to unselect diagonal door and then click OK. And now that's been adjusted. So let's go back up to our cabinet tools and click on a base cabinet again, and click next to my cabinet, and I'm going to make a few adjustments to this cabinet as well. So I'm going to click my space bar, double click to open up the cabinet. We'll change this to 30 inches, and we're going to make adjustments to the front. So when I get in here, I'm going to click on the item I want to change and then choose what I'd like to change it to, and then we need to modify this to 9 inches, and then I'll add a new item as well. We're going to put in another drawer. So I'm going to click OK because it's, oh, well, nope, it's a blank area. We want to change this to a drawer, and then we want to change this to 9 inches. And we'll click OK. And now that's been updated. So now we can accept those changes, and it's updated over here in our view. And then now we can add in some more cabinets. So let's go. And if I want to place in 3D, I want to show you how we can do this. I can click within my camera view, click on the object, and then I can even bring it in and add it in 3D. So I'm going to make adjustment to this cabinet as well. I'm going to put a sink in here, so we need to expand it just a little larger. Click over here and we'll place a few more cabinets. And for this one, I'm actually going to take a cabinet that I've created, make a copy of it, and then add it to the other side of my cabinet. And we're going to add in a full height cabinet here for a refrigerator. However, the full height is pretty slender for a refrigerator, so we need to tap our space bar, double click to open up the object, and we'll make a change here. I also want to remove the toe kick so we don't have a floating refrigerator, so I'm going to put 0, click OK, and now that's been updated. Let's add in another base cabinet and change this to 12. And click OK. And I want to move this over to make sure it's hugged up against those other cabinets. And we can now add in some wall cabinets. So we're going to go to our wall cabinets, click within the plan to apply those cabinets, and we'll click again here, bring one in the corner. And just like we did with our base cabinets, if I want to make an adjustment to the size here, I can change the width if I'd like. Click OK. And we'll add one more in. And now our wall cabinets have been updated. So while we're looking at this view here, I'd like to add in a window, and I'm just going to do that in my 3D view or my camera view here. I can tap my space bar, center this on top of where my sink's going to go in, and then we can make an adjustment to the height as well. So now we have our cabinets placed in this area. I'd like to bring in some appliances. So let's go up to our View tab. We're going to open our library browser. When I click on my library browser, it brings up many different options over here. I have core catalogs available, bonus catalogs, manufacturer, or user catalog. This user catalog is a catalog that I've actually created for this project here. So it just makes the designing process a lot more smooth because I can grab all of my items, they're stored in one place, and it makes it just more efficient when we gather everything we're going to need prior to putting it into our plan. So I'm going to grab my refrigerator here, and then I'm going to click on my cabinet I'd like to apply it to, and then I'd like to add in a dishwasher. So I'll just click on the cabinet as well, and we'll bring in a sink. So I can click and the sink is applied. We can even rotate around our view here so we can add in some more items. I want to bring in my range, so I'm just going to click and place my range. And I just want to make an adjustment here. So I'm going to tap my space bar, double click to open up my range. We're going to change this to 36. Click OK. And we can see it's went over our cabinet here. So what we can do in our view here, plan view, is just grab it, and now we can bump it up to that cabinet. And let's add in another base cabinet. We can just pull that in here. We can add in, and let's change the width on this to 30. We'll click OK. And I'm going to add in a wall cabinet as well. And we need to modify that. So we can open it up down here at the bottom if we wish. Change this to 30. Click OK. And now I want to center it. Make sure it's centered over my cabinet there. And now that's applied. So we need to now bring in our hood here. So I'm going to grab this and just drop it in the plan. And we can tap our space bar. We want to make sure it's going to vent all the way up so we can bring that to the top of our plan. And now I've added in all of our appliances. So I can actually, we can minimize this just a little bit here, expand our view. I want to show you one of the nice new features available with our Home Designer product release, and that is our custom backsplash tool. So if we go up to our cabinet options, go down to custom backsplash, I can click within my plan and a backsplash is automatically going to be applied. So I can make some modifications here. If I don't want my backsplash to extend so far up, I can do that. Click on the tool again and then click within my plan and apply it on the other wall. And now I have a nice backsplash. So one of the other features I want to bring into my kitchen here would be an island. I've pre-designed an island using an architectural block, and architectural blocks are available with Home Designer Professional and Architectural. And what this is if we click here you can get an idea. It's pre-designed cabinets that I've put together as well as library items, and they come in as one unit. So if we go over to our plan view over here, I'm going to click to highlight my view, and then I do want to make some modifications to where I placed my architectural block. So I'm going to go up to my dimensioning tools, grab a manual dimension, and I'll click to make sure we're going to have enough space in our kitchen between our architectural block, or our island I should say, and our cabinets. So to make these changes I'm going to click on the block itself and then click on the dimension. I'm going to change this to 4 feet, click enter, and change this to 4 feet and enter. And tap my space bar, click to remove that dimension, and click to remove that dimension. And now our architectural block is placed in our space. I want to show you what we can do with our blocks. So we can explode the block down below by clicking on explode architectural block. Now all of the pieces within my block are individual, so I can make adjustments if I wanted to remove items. For example, I'm going to delete this light, and I can even bump these lights a little closer. So I need to zoom in here because I'm not grabbing it correctly. So let's grab the light, we'll move it in, grab this light, move it in a little closer, and let's remove a bar stool. So I can delete that out. I can even grab, if you touch on your control key when you are moving objects, you have free range now, so it's not snapping anymore. And then I can bring in this other stool as well. If I wanted to turn it, make it look a little lived in there, I could do that as well. If we look at our stools though, they look a little high to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adjust these by bringing them down a little bit so we have a little bit of space for our knees there. And now what we can do, they look a little off center, so I can space that. Let's see, let's bring it up just a bit. And what I'm going to do now is just block these items back together, and now it's one unit again. So this is a nice tool and feature to use within the software as well. It makes the designing process a lot more quick. While we're in this view, I'd also like to update the materials for our kitchen. So I'm just going to double click to open our 3D camera view, and I'm going to click on My Material Eyedropper. I want to update the different cabinetry to a white color, so I'm just going to pull my white from my windowsill here. And if we look in the lower left corner, we have different tools down here now that we can use for painting our materials. So right now component mode is selected. If I was to click on a cabinet here, just the item I click on is going to update. If I click on object mode, for example, the entire cabinet is going to change. And if I click on room mode, I can update all of my cabinets with one click. We also have options for floor and plan mode. This would come in handy, for example, if we wanted to update cabinets in our bathroom to match our kitchen and we had additional bathrooms on this floor. And plan mode would be helpful if we had cabinets upstairs as well. So those are great tools to use to kind of speed up the process. And then if we look over here, we have a blend colors with materials tool. I have it selected. I'm going to click on my backsplash and update my backsplash at the same time. And if we zoom in here, I'm using my keyboard, you can see that our textures are still consistent. So the color is just placing on top of that texture. And now my kitchen has been updated to a white color. So I'd like to add in some electrical now. So I'll bring down my floor plan again and we'll zoom out of here. And before I add in my electrical components in my kitchen, I'm going to separate out this space. So I'd like to go up to my wall tools and we're going to place a room divider. And the reason I'm doing this is because when I add in my electrical, if I change this to a kitchen, which we're going to do now, my electrical components will modify to what would be found in a kitchen. So my GFCI outlets that we're going to place will match up based on this label and how we change the room. So if I zoom out of here, you can see that the flooring now changed when I placed in that room divider and label, because now it's updated to a standard kitchen flooring. So I do want to change my floor though to be consistent with the rest of my plan. So I just need to click in my 3D view here, grab that material eyedropper, select the wood and apply it to my kitchen, and now that's been changed back to how I would like it to be. So let's get into our electrical tools here. The first thing I want to do is place some lights. So we'll go up to our build tab, click electrical, and we have different options to choose from. We can choose our outlets, lights, switches, we can auto place outlets, and connect our electrical. Let's start by placing our light. So I'm going to click in the plan. I'll tap my space bar, then click to select the object, and I do want to make some copies here. So I'm going to go down and I have a transform replicate tool. I'll click on that. I'm going to make, let's do 3 copies, and we'll move this 4 feet apart and click OK. And now lights have been added, and I can click now, hold down the control key, click on my other light. If I want to move these down just a bit, I can just click and drag. I do want to go make a copy of these lights, so I'm going to go down to the bottom, my edit toolbar there, and I'm going to reflect the object. So I'll click on this tool, click on my island, and now I have lights placed on the other side of the island as well. So let's get in here and we're going to auto place our electrical. So I'll click within the plan. You can also access your electrical items on our default toolbar. So we'll just go up here and auto place outlets, click within the room, and now my outlets are placed. So we can zoom in, and there's those GFCI outlets I was mentioning before. To get a better idea, a clearer picture of this, we can go up to our display options. We'll click on cabinet and label and click OK. And now we've removed the labels, so we have a better view of what that GFCI outlet looks like. We can zoom out of here, and even in our 3D view we can zoom in and take a look at where those outlets have been placed. So with our outlets placed, let's connect our electrical here. So the first thing we need to do is just go back up to those tools, connect electrical, and I'm just going to click on the lights that I want to connect here and click to connect them. And as I look into my plan, I realize I don't have anything to connect them to yet because I haven't placed any switches. So I need to add in some switches. So we'll add, let's zoom out of here so we can get a better idea of what our kitchen's looking like. We'll add a switch here and a switch here and then a switch over on this side. And now we need to grab those connect electrical tools again. We can connect there to a switch. And then I can connect over on that side as well. And if you zoom in here, we can now see that it's been updated to a three-way switch. I also have lights on my island that I need to connect, so I need to tap my spacebar, break this block, and now I can select those lights. So we're just going to click and click within the plan. And with just a few simple clicks, our electrical plan has been updated here. So let's expand our camera view again. And before we get out of the kitchen, I want to show some rendering techniques within the software. So we can go up to our rendering tools, and right now we have the standard view selected, but we can change it to a vector view, a glass house for example, where you can see through the cabinetry, see through the walls. This is a really nice option. You can also click for a technical illustration, get more of that white and black feature. And we even have a watercolor for example, so if you want to give it a more artistic look. So those are some of our rendering techniques within the software. Go back up to the standard view. I'm going to click out of this view now. We'll go back into our plan here. We're going to drop down to our foundation level. So in the beginning of our demonstration today, we added a foundation that was automatically generated, but we're going to build our foundation now. So I'm going to make some changes. To do this, we'll go up to Build. We're going to go down to Floor, select Build Foundation, and from here we can make some changes. So right now we have automatically rebuild foundation on. I'm going to click to unselect it because I don't see us changing any more with our exterior walls. And our foundation type, right now it's walls with footings is selected. I'm going to keep it that way, but you can also modify your foundation type to grade beam on piers, monolithic slab, so you do have the flexibility here if you live in a different area to change the foundation level. We also have our slab thickness set at 4 inches, and our stem walls are set at 37.5 inches, so we have a nice crawl space. I am going to update this though so that we can have a full basement. So I'm going to modify it to 96 inches. And if you wanted to change anything with your garage or your sill plate, this is where you would do so. I'll click OK. And we're going to derive the new foundation plan from our first floor. Select OK. And let's take a dollhouse view here. And if we look down, now we can see we have a full basement added to our plan. So you can zoom in here, and it's nice with just a couple additions and modifications that we can change from that crawl space to our full basement. So I'll click out of here, and I do want to show you our materials list. We'll go up to our Tools tab, click on Materials List, and I can calculate my materials list from all floors for a specific room or an area. I'm going to do area, and I'll just click to drag the marquee around my foundation level. And if we get in here, you can see that we've generated a materials list. We can update pricing. For example, if I want to change the concrete for this area, I can click within the plan, update it to 110, and now my pricing has been modified for this particular space. So this is great for cost estimating and to just see all your materials that you've used for a particular plan. Let's exit out of this materials list. We're not going to save it today, but we are going to go up and build our second floor. So to do this, we're going to get to where our first floor is, and now we can go up, we can access our build new floor option by going up to the Build tab, or we can take a quick shortcut and go to Build New Floor, and we're going to derive our second floor from our first floor. Click OK. And as soon as we do that, we are presented with our floor 2 defaults. So if we needed to make any changes to our ceiling or floor heights, this is where you would do that. And we're just going to keep it set to at our default, so we'll click OK. And now we have our upstairs that is right above our first floor. So let's turn on our reference display so we can see what's going on below. And I can see I don't need my second story to be as wide as my first. So I'm going to tap my space bar, click on this wall, and I'm going to drag this wall in. And to make sure the wall is aligned with the wall below, I have a tool down here that I can click on to stack my wall, and this helps for plumbing and electrical. You want to make sure that your walls are aligned. So we'll add in some interior walls now. I'm just going to click to drag in my walls, click to drag, and I can even drag this one all the way across. Click, and just going to kind of draw out my space here. We're going to tap this to line it up here and pull this wall back. Let's add in just a few more walls. Click all the way down here, and let's take a dollhouse view. We're going to zoom in to get a better view here. Bring down our floor plan view. And I can see I want to align some more walls with the walls below, so I'm just going to click on that same tool and get all our walls aligned. And I also need to break this wall because we're going to add in our stairs, so it needs to match with the floor below. Tap my space bar, click delete, and we can add in our doors upstairs. So I'll go to add in a doorway. Alright, actually let's add in a hinge door. Add another hinge on this side, and we'll put in a double door to enter into our master. And I also want a doorway to go into my master bath. So we'll set the width on this to 6 feet. Click OK, and add in another doorway. And now let's add in some windows upstairs. So I can click to use my reference display below. We'll exit out of this view. Let's go down to our first floor now. We need to turn off the reference display. We're going to add in some stairs. So I'm going to take a full camera here, and I'm going to click Shift F6 to tile both of my views. I'm going to zoom in, and we're going to use our stair tools. So we have our stair options located in our default toolbar. We can place straight stairs, click stairs, curved stairs, or add a ramp or landing. I'm going to place some straight stairs, so I'm just going to click and drag within my plan. Click and drag, and then if you click between both stairs, you can add in your landing. So we'll go, and I want to also bring in a interior wall here for some storage below my stairs, and then I'm going to also place a hinged door. So now I have some space down there. And if I want to update any of my materials, I can use that material eyedropper. And we'll click Plan View and update our materials here. If we need to make any adjustments to the stair, I can tap my space bar, double click to open up the stairs. I'm presented with my interior staircase specification dialog. If we wanted to make stairs best fit, this is where you can change that. You can also modify the width and length of your stairs. I'm going to get in here to my railings tab and take the railing off the left side of my staircase. Click OK. And to see what's going on upstairs, we can click on our plan view here and go up a level to our second story. And we can see we don't see our stairs, and that's because we haven't cut through our floor yet. So what we need to do is tap on that stair one more time to get our stair options below, and we can click our auto stairwell tool and it'll make a cut right into that floor, and now we have our stairwell here. So to see what this looks like upstairs, let's take another camera view here. Oops, and I'm going to click, you got to click on that plan view first, full camera. And now I can see my stairs are placed upstairs. So to modify or to work in a couple different views, what we can do is take this full camera view and drag it over. And now I can see what's going on my first floor. I can see what's going on my second floor and also what's happening here in my plan view. So we can see that some of these materials need to be adjusted. Just go grab that material eyedropper tool and click, and now those stairs have been modified. So it's nice because you can work in multiple views within the software as well. We'll click out of these views and click out of the views again. Let's get into our plan view here. And I do want to add in the remaining windows. So I'm going to turn on my reference display. And then I'm also going to take a perspective full overview, get into a different view here, can zoom in just a bit, and we'll tile both of these views. So I'll just bring down my floor plan view. And we're going to get into our window options. So to do this, we just need to go back up to our tools on our default toolbar. And I can click to, if I wanted to add a window in plan view, I can do so and it'll add it. One of the things I want to do is bring in another window down on my first floor. So if I click in this view, you can see I have the window highlighted. I'm also going to click to bring in another window and just bump it right up to that window, and when I do that, it'll remove that shutter automatically, and now I can bring in that second window. We can do the same up above. Tap my space bar and bump it over. And then to finish out this design here, we can go up to our window tools, click again to line up those windows. So now all my windows have been applied. I do want to make some modifications to my roof. My roof that will be generated automatically with the software is a hip roof, but I want to change this to a gable. So to do that, let's go up to our Build tab, and we'll go into our options here for our roof. We're going to build roof, and right now we need to click Build Roof Planes and keep Auto Rebuild Roof selected. And while we're in this dialog, I also want to show you our roof styles option. This shows that we can create that hip roof, that default, or change it to a gable like we're going to modify. I'm also going to place a shed roof over my porch, but we do have many different other roof options. Please note, if you need to manually manipulate roof planes, you would need Home Designer Professional. So I'm just going to click OK, get out of this view, and we'll make some changes. So to change our roof here to a gable, I'm going to click on my wall, hold down Control to click to select my other wall here, and I'm going to go down to my tool down here to change to gable walls. Click that, and now my roof has been modified. So you can see over here in our 3D view that that roof has been generated. If we drop down to our first floor, we can also change the roof over the garage. So if we click over here, let's orbit this view around a little bit. We can see we still have a hip roof over the garage. So to change this, we're going to click on the wall that we want to modify, and then I'm also going to make sure that I'm going to hold down Control. I also want to break this wall real quick. So the first thing I'm going to do is break it, then I'll tap my space bar to select it, click Control to grab that other wall, change those to gable. And now we can get in and make some modifications. The pitch on here is a little steep for this area, so I'm going to click on my load bearing wall. I'll also click on this back wall, and we're going to open up these objects, go to the Roof tab, and we'll change the pitch here to 4 and click OK. And now we have our roof that has been modified. So we can get into our 3D view and rotate around to get an idea of what our plan looks like now. Now that we've modified the roof, let's add in our framing. So this is an example of what I want to do with the framing in our home today. So this is just a quick overview of what it'll look like. We can exit out of that. And to do this, we need to go up to our Build tab, and we'll click on Framing. So we're going to build framing. And please note that our framing options are only available within Home Designer Professional if you need to manually change any of our framing. So we're going to keep automatically build floor and ceiling framing unselected, but I do want to build my floor framing. So I'm going to click on this option, and if I click on floor structure here, layer 1 is my sheathing and layer 2 is my I-joist. So if I click on layer 2, we do have options to change our structure type here. For example, we can modify that to lumber if we wish to do so. And I'm going to click cancel out of here. Right now our spacing is set at 16 inches on center. We'll keep it that way. And if we go into our first floor, we can also build our ceiling framing, our floor framing, and we can still make those other adjustments here. We'll go into our second floor, build our ceiling framing, and one of the things I wanted to point out is our subfloor for floor 3 is grayed out, and the reason it's doing that is because we don't have a third floor on this plan today, so the software automatically knows not to have that as an option. We go into wall framing. I am going to select automatically build wall framing because I want to show you how we can make adjustments to our framing and how the program will automatically update. So we'll build our framing as well. We need to click on that. If you need to change anything with openings or fireplaces, beams, posts, that's where you'll do so. I'm going to get into my roof framing though and build roof framing, and we'll click OK. As soon as I click OK, I'm presented with a dialog here that asks if I want to turn on the display of my framing in this view. I'm going to click no because it tends to clutter this plan view, so we'll just bypass these, and instead what I'll do here is I'm going to take a framing overview, and now we can see that my framing has updated here so that we've completely framed our house within that dialog there. And we'll just rotate it back around. We'll click to stop that. And I want to show you how we can make adjustments here. So if I wanted to change my framing, for example, we are currently on our first floor. So if I tap my space bar, I can remove the door here by clicking delete. If I wanted to remove the window, I can click delete to remove the window. And over here in our 3D view, it's updating. If I want to bring those back, I can just click Control Z, and my window's brought back, Control Z again, and now I have my door within my plan. So you do have a lot of flexibility with framing. It's nice to have to be able to just make adjustments and also have that automatic option if you needed to get in there and make those changes. So with our framing done, I want to move on to our terrain today. So I'm just going to exit out of this view. We can keep this view open here. We'll zoom out. We can even turn our reference display off as we don't need that anymore. So the first thing we want to do is within Home Designer Professional, if you go up to our default toolbar, we have this terrain configuration tab. If I click on that, it brings a lot of my terrain tools to the forefront here. I can create my terrain perimeter by clicking on this tool over on the left, and now I've added in just a simple perimeter within my home here. So to make modifications though, let's click on our plan view, and I'm going to click on my pad level here, and we're going to change this elevation. Right now it's automatically set, and I'm going to make a change here. I'm just going to change it to 20, and that's 20 inches below the first floor platform, and I'll click OK. I do want to add in some elevations, so we'll go up to our elevation options, and we can add them in by using points, lines, splines, regions, or a terrain break. I'm going to use regions today. So to do this, I'm just going to click and drag, and I'll click and drag here. If we move up the plan, let's zoom out. And this terrain, I want to make a modification here. I'm going to bring this in just a bit. Let's zoom in here. Doesn't need to be so wide there. We can even expand these out if we want just a bit. So I'm going to change those elevations too. And let's go and grab that tool. We'll expand just a few more here. And now I'm going to tap my space bar and make those changes. So this one I want set at 15. Click OK. We'll put a negative back here. We'll change this to -30. Double click to open this up, and I want this at -6. And my last elevation I'm setting at -10. And to get an idea of what this looks like, we can click on our perspective full overview. We can rotate around our plan and we can see that now we have a nice slope behind our house. I'd like to tile both of these views now. We're going to add a porch to the front of our house here. So to do this, we're going to go up to our tools, our railing tools, and I'm going to click on straight deck railing, and I'm just going to click, and I need to click on the view first. So click, drag that out, click, click again, and I can see that I want to modify this just a bit. I'm going to change this to a porch. I'll click OK. And when I change it to a porch, now that's been updated, I have my roof here. I do want to make one more change to the structure, so I'm going to go and open this back up, go to my structure tab, and we're going to go to edit the floor structure, and I'm going to set this at 30 inches and click OK. And now we have a nice platform set there. I would like to modify the material here, so I'm going to go to my open object, and I'm going to go to materials. I want to go to exterior wall surface. We'll go to library material. In fact, actually I already have the material I've used in my plan, so we'll just go to plan material, and we can select something that we've already used within our plan. So if we go down, we can scroll, or you can also search, but I'm just going to click on concrete here. We'll click OK and click OK. And now my material has been updated. So let's make some changes to the roof on our porch. So we're going to go and open up those walls here. So I'm just holding down Control, changing my walls to gable walls. And now my roof has been modified. I need to get into that load-bearing wall, double click to open it up, and we're going to go to the roof tab, and I'm going to change the pitch here though to 4. And I also, while I'm in this tab, I'm going to go to rail style. We'll add post to rail and post to beam. And let's get in here and we'll change the width to 3. Actually, 3.5 will work just fine. We'll click OK. And now we can see that our porch has been modified. So let's add in some stairs. I'm going to go back to my default configuration to my stair tools here. And we're going to apply some click stairs. So if I click right next to my porch, now that my stairs will just click and automatically hook up to that porch. If I tap my space bar, I can open them up, and we'll go to our railing and make sure we have railings set on both our left and right side. We'll get into our style here, and let's make sure let's unselect open underneath and open risers to give us a different look with these stairs. And now those have been modified. If I click over here, I can even continue updating some of my materials by zooming in and clicking to update. So I want to expand out this area just a bit. So to do this, I can either click within my 3D view or my plan view. I'll just click in my plan view here and expand out my stairs. Expand them on the other side, and then I'm also wanting to center these stairs right where that door is. And now I have stairs added to my porch as well. So if we wanted to use similar tools but apply a deck, we can do that. And I'm just going to zoom out. We'll zoom out of both of these plans. And I can rotate my house around to the opposite side, bring us to the back side of the house. And I'm going to use my deck railing tool. So I'll click back up on my terrain configuration and go to straight deck railing. And I'm just going to click and click within my plan, and now I have a deck applied. So I do want to add in some stairs, so we'll go and grab those click stairs one more time, click to add those, and now that those have been connected, we can also add in some materials here, update our materials I should say. So I'm just going to bring that stair material and apply it within the rest of my plan here. And now that's been updated, we can also, let's do one more. We'll add the white to our railing here. And everything has been modified. So to give us a better view, I'll double click on my camera view. And I can rotate around here. We can see that we have a deck on the back of our house and a porch on the front of our house. And we were able to do that with just a couple tools that are similar to each other. So if we want to work one more time with our floor plan view, down here we can drag it to the side. There we go. I want to bring in a driveway, so I'm going to go up to my terrain tools and we'll click on driveway area. And I'm just going to click and drag within my plan here. And we can see how that updated by pulling our house over to the left there. And I'm also going to add in a sidewalk. So I can go back to my terrain tools, or since we just used our terrain and road and sidewalk tools, we can just access those here. So I'll just click to add my sidewalk in. I need to tap my space bar to bring my sidewalk in a little further. And now we can add in our planter beds. So to do this, we'll go to our View tab, go to Library Browser, and I'm going to go to my Outdoor Library Items. And I've created an architectural block. I just want to place that in my plan. So I'll click to add that in. And it looks like it placed it the wrong way, so I'm just going to turn this block there and we'll bring this back. And if I want to expand my architectural block, I can do that, or I can even move it over. And let's make a copy, and we'll reflect it now on the other side of our porch area. And now we have another architectural block. If I want to expand this out, I need to break the block, and then I can click on that planter bed to drag it along up towards my driveway area. So now that we've added in those items, I can even, let's put in a shrub border. And that's a little too close to my driveway area, so I'm going to just bump that. We need to break the area, pull that in. And now that fits within our bed there. Let's add in some plants. So we're going to exit out of our library browser. I'm going to go up to my terrain tools and we're going to click on plant chooser. And when I go to my plant chooser, I can select between many different plants by their common name or scientific name. So we're going to select common name. I can even search by a type. So I want to look for a tree. If I have a subtype, I can add that in here. And we'll pick a tree that needs some sun. And if we want to look at our hardiness zone map, we can click on View Map, and you can even specify areas within the world that you want to make sure plants grow and thrive in. And so since we're in the western United States, I'm going to keep that selected. We'll click OK. And I'm just going to select the height. We'll put anywhere between 8 to 16 feet and easy to grow. So let's search and see what is generated. So we have different options to choose from. I'm going to add in a manna ash to my plan today. And I'll click close. And now I have the tree here that I can add into my plan. So this looks a little large for the space, so I'm just going to click and make it smaller. And if I wanted to expand it a bit, I can. And let's make a copy of that. So we'll copy this and paste it. We can copy a couple more and paste it. And let's just add in one more tree there. And to get a better idea of what that looks like, let's just take another overview here. Exit out. And now our trees have been applied to our plan here. So I'd like to spend the last few moments of our time here today by going over layout pages within the software. So let me give you an example here of what a layout sheet looks like. You can generate this within Home Designer Professional. This shows front elevation, side elevations, and rear elevations. If we click up, we can see different plans as well. So we'll move this up one, and you can see we can show wall elevations, floor plan views. So there's a lot of different tools that you can use within the software. So let's bring this out. To create a layout, we'll click out of this view. we need to go to File, New Layout. Now we have a blank sheet that we can work with. So if we wanted to change the title block, this is where we can do so. And if we go back, now we can send some views to our layout. So the first thing I need to do is go to my layer options, my display options I should say, and I want to remove my terrain. So we're going to go to Terrain Features, and we'll remove our terrain items, and then also my architectural blocks. And any plant items, we want to make sure those are gone as well. And we'll click OK. And so now those have been removed from the plan. We can send this to layout. So to do that, we can go up to our toolbar here, go to File, Send to Layout, and right now it's set at 1/4 inch to a foot, and we're going to change this to 1/8, and we'll click OK. And now that it's in here on our layout sheet, we can take this, move our floor plan anywhere we want. I'm holding the Control key. If I want to cut this down a bit, I can do so by just bringing in the sides, and it will cut off those porch and deck areas. Let's go back to our floor plan, and we'll take an elevation view. So we need to get into our elevation camera, and I'm just going to click and drag within my plan to get an elevation there. And I can see I have some items I still need to remove. So let's go back up to our display options. We'll go to Plants and remove those plants. And we also want to remove some terrain features. So let's go back up to Terrain. Make sure we remove all of the perimeter. We'll get all those terrain tools gone, and we'll click OK. And now we can send this to our layout sheet. If we want to turn this to black and white, we can do that. And we can click Send to Layout, or Quick Tool is accessed on our default toolbar. Send this to, or set it at 1/8. Click OK. And now we have both views applied here. If you wanted to add maybe your second story, you can do so. So you have a lot of flexibility within our layout options. So this concludes our presentation for today. I did want to take a moment to review our website. To access our website, go to homedesignersoftware.com. If you go up to our products tab, you can see we have different products to choose from. We spent our time today in Home Designer Professional. However, we have Architectural Suite, Essentials, Interiors available as well. We even have a product chooser, so if you're having a hard time figuring out what program would work best for you, you can click on this link and it gives a side-by-side comparison chart of all those programs I mentioned. If you also want to do a trial version of our software, you can test out the program by clicking on our free trial download. And if we go over to User Center, we have different resources available, such as training videos. We did spend a lot of time designing our terrain today, so we can click Terrain, for example, and search. And if we do that, all our videos that pertain to terrain will populate. So this is a great resource if you like watching videos to get you up and running with the software. Let's go back to our page here, and if we go to training webinars, you can see that weekly we do have webinars available, so you can see what's coming up next week. We also have a samples gallery available showing different options and different designs that have been created within the software. And if you needed to access our Home Talk user forum, this is a great place to link with other users of our Home Designer software. We even have a support tab here. If we click on Knowledge Base, for example, these are how-to articles that you can access within the program that'll help you with the designing process. So I'm going to back out of here. Just want to show you our social media icons down below. Like I said, we do have that Home Talk user forum. Facebook, we have a house account, and then if you also want to link to our YouTube channel, you can do so at the bottom of our screen here. We offer a 30-day satisfaction guarantee on all of our products, and if you would like to upgrade an existing program, give us a call, or you can even upgrade directly through our website. This would be a good time to wrap up those questions that you have to Kayla, so please feel free to chat those in. We'll be here for a few more minutes. Thank you for attending. If you do have any other questions, feel free to call our sales department, or you can also email us at sales@chiefarchitect.com. We hope you have a great day.